Hey Dabbers, and welcome back to another Dab 2000 video. And you're probably wondering what is happening right now. You saw the thumbnail, you saw this artwork, what is happening basically. And today I'm going to pitch you guys a Batman movie that I would create. So I got a new mic so I can sound a little better. I have a second one that will be with the Remake podcast, so expect these mics to be in the Remake podcast so our voices sound more clearer in the videos. But I'm going to test it here for my Batman Year One movie. So basically, I'm going to pitch you guys a Batman movie that I would make myself. It's an original story for Batman, and I'm expected to make 8 movies. So this is the first movie out of an 8-part Batman movie series. So I hope you guys enjoy this series. I'm really looking forward to this series, and I'm doing a lot of editing for this video. So if you're wondering, it's just a green screen. How is that so much editing? Well, let's put it up right now. Alright, Dabbers, so here it is. If you can see, I'm in this little box right here and stuff, and you can see the green screen behind me, but you're probably wondering, what is this box over here? I hope I'm pointing at the right box over here, but what is this box over here, and what is this down here? Well, I wanted to try something different, so I made this bracket thing so I can show you guys what actually is happening. Over here is where I'm going to show you guys pictures that I drew of the characters in this movie, how I would envision them to look like in the story. And then down here, if you don't know that much about this character from DC, a little description box will come up down here and tell you a little bit more information about the character. So, I just want to try something different. I think for this whole series, I'm going to have this bracket type thing in this setting, and I'm just really excited to do this. So I guess let's get starting with my movie, Batman Year One. Says it right there, and that's an original artwork right there of Batman Year One. It's gonna be kind of reddish. It looks red. It looks really cool and stuff. So let's get started with Batman Year One, my movie. Alright, so we open the scene with some thugs like stealing something from a bank. They just did it, and they're running to like an abandoned building, kind of like some construction workers are just worked on it and starting to build it up, and it's nighttime, so it's gonna be not finished yet, and they just run in there, and the workers are off duty. So these thugs walk into this place and settle down, and one of them are like, whew, that was a close one. We almost got caught. So there's a total of 5 people there. So one person hears this big thud in the background. They go walk over to see what it is. He doesn't come back for a good minute. And then no one really notices he's gone until like one person's like, hey, where did like Tim go or something? And so a lot of people, all of them are like suspicious and like, what do you mean? He just went to go see what that thud was. So 2 more guys walk over there, and then you hear beating up with fists like poof, poof, poof. So, and then you don't hear them. The other 2 guys, they're freaking out, so they grab like their guns and knives to get ready for something. And then the guy with the knife runs up to him, and you see just this like a big like thud, and then the knife drops, and then you hear another punch, and like he's been pinned to the wall and then punched. The last guy with the gun, he shoots, misses, so he takes off running, and he keeps running for a long distance of time. You can see the camera panned across his legs and stuff, and then you see this grappling gun wrap around his legs, and he gets swooped up and then gets hanged from the ceiling like this. And so he's like hanging from the ceiling, and then we hear big heavy footsteps walk towards him, and you see an upside down bat symbol slowly turn forward, and then you see this red on it, and it says Batman Year One. So that is the title card for it. You saw the bat symbol right here probably, and Batman Year One shows up, the title card. Now you know you're in my story for Batman. Alright, so after the title card, we start off with a theater. Just this play going on in the theater. And you see a mom and a dad and Bruce Wayne. A young Bruce Wayne. So it's Martha Wayne and Thomas Wayne there. And they're just enjoying this play and everything. Nothing really, anything's going on at this point in time until Bruce gets scared from one of the acts going on, and he says can we just leave? So they leave, and then they walk down this alley, and this guy approaches them and says give me your jewelry and money, and they do. Everyone knows how this happens. The parents both die. And Bruce didn't get a great look at him because he was in a bandana. The thug that killed him. And he just runs away. And then Bruce is just sitting there processing what just happened. And they're both dead. And then a week later, we're at a funeral with Bruce Wayne and everything, and he sees his parents dead, and then Alfred. So here's a picture of Alfred right here. Alfred approaches Bruce Wayne, and he's like, I'll take care of you, Master Bruce, and stuff. So he's scared because he doesn't have parents anymore, and everything like that. And I was just checking my mic. And then that's it for young Bruce. And then we see him grow up to modern, sort of when he's older. I would say mid-20-ish, maybe 30, maybe 26-ish. He's growing the company, Wayne Enterprises. He's doing a pretty good job at it. He's not that bad at doing these reports and everything. He's doing the company really well, but he's kind of struggling a little bit because of the finance and the money and stuff. It's not really working, and he doesn't really know what to do and stuff. So he's doing the best he can, but something's happening that he might have to close down Wayne Enterprises. So then one day he was in a conference area, and then Falcone shows up. There's a picture of Falcone. So Falcone shows up to Bruce Wayne's meeting. He just sits down. Bruce Wayne is very, very confused, and he's like, what are you doing here? We're supposed to meet tomorrow. And he's like, well, change of plans. I need to talk to you now. So they walk out of the meeting room outside, and they say that your business is not working as well since your parents died, and we have to buy it from you. And Bruce Wayne obviously is no, I want my company still. This is my legacy and everything. And he's like, well, you're not making that much money, and your company is failing, so we just need you to give up the company to us so we can continue it. So Bruce is definitely not happy about this. So he goes home to Alfred that night, and he tells him what happens, and he's like, what are you going to do, Master Bruce? He's not quite sure. He's just there. So then the next morning, he walks in to Wayne Enterprises again, and his company has been robbed. So things have been stolen from his work. He's got computers stolen, his information stolen, and like everything like that. So everything's gone. So Bruce Wayne is very unhappy with this. So he doesn't know who did this. Of course, he called the cops, and then Gordon comes and stuff. There's a Gordon picture if you wanted to know. But, you know, he's very frustrated by this. So he doesn't know what to do, and the cops have zero clue who could have done this. I mean, there's been a bunch of robbers in there, so it could be anyone in the city. So Bruce Wayne has zero clue what to do. He's failing his business, and someone just robbed it, and we have zero clue who it is. So he's like, the cops don't really do. Bruce Wayne that night sits down with like next to the fire pit or something, and Alfred comes up and he's like, "What are you doing, Master Bruce?" And Bruce Wayne is like, the cops don't do that much in the city. They can't even catch all the robbers or villains in the city. I need to step in and do something. Alfred has zero clue what he's talking about. He's like, how are you going to do this, sir? You have zero fighting experience. You can't even like stop a man with a gun if you even tried. So he doesn't know what to do. So like later that night, he goes on a computer and he searches up what's the best place to get like fighting experience. And it says Ra's al Ghul's fighting place. I don't know the real name for it. I might have searched it up and it's probably down here below, but yeah. So basically he's gonna get trained by Ra's al Ghul. If you don't know who that is, you'll probably know soon or now. I don't know. It depends when I edit this and where I put who Ra's al Ghul is and everything. But so he books a trip there. It's like all the way across from Gotham City. It's like a really far flight. So Bruce Wayne packs his stuff. Alfred's like, "Are you sure you want to do this, Master Bruce?" He does. So he gets on the plane and flies to Ra's al Ghul's training place. So he lands in Ra's al Ghul's place. He walks a good distance because it's literally in the middle of nowhere. It's like pretty sunny there, a lot of grass, so it's not like snowy or anything. It's just like pretty grassy and stuff, so it's just like a big open field. And then you see this like temple and stuff with like a red roof and everything. You see the temple, and then Bruce Wayne just walks in to the temple, and he walks in, and then he's like, he doesn't see anyone in the building. He's like, "Is anyone in here?" And then he keeps walking, and then these ninjas approach him and then knocks him out. And then he wakes up and he sees this throne, and we see Ra's al Ghul. This is the first time we'll see him in my movie, and you can see he has this like collar. I actually have a picture like right here, but I'm gonna look at the picture so I can give you guys a. So you can see he has this cape, this long cape sitting down. He's got like a sheath with a sword inside of it. And he's got these big shoulder pads right here and stuff, and he's got this little cape thing right here. So yeah, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "I need to be trained in your ways, because I really need to, you know, be a fighter." So we continue. Bruce Wayne will be trained by Ra's al Ghul. Now this is cool. So he gets a night's stay. He sleeps in like a little place in Ra's al Ghul's place and stuff like that. And yeah, he just goes to sleep. And then the next morning, he gets ready in his outfit, his training outfit, and he goes to the first day of training. And there's this line of ninjas, and so he just walks up into the line, and Ra's al Ghul says, like, "Today's your first day of training," and they train. So Batman, I mean, he will be Batman, but Bruce Wayne is not doing that well. He's never had any fighting experiences ever, so this is like very tough for him. It's not doing that well or anything like that, but you know, he tries his best and everything. And then this person walks up to him, this older person, sort of. He has white hair and stuff, and he's like, hey, you need to take the sheath off the sword. And he's like, oh. And so he just thanks. So that's a little experience of Bruce Wayne's fighting experience. But this person, his name is Slade, his real name. And if you know who Slade is, you know who's going to be in this. But if you don't know, I'll save it as a mystery for a little bit later in the video. So, we continue. We walk, we see him training with this Slade fella, and he's giving good information about how to, you know, use weapons, train, fight. So, it's very helpful for Bruce. He definitely needs this experience. So he trains a lot with dummies, with stuff like that. And then about maybe a week later of just training, Bruce is getting pretty good at training and fighting. So the final week, like the final day of this week, Ra's al Ghul calls all the ninjas back, and he says, all of you gotta fight each other, and whoever the last man standing wins. So every ninja has a stick, so no one's actually killed, but everyone has a stick, and they all fight each other. Bruce Wayne is doing pretty good. He takes out at least 5 of them. There's about total of like 12 of them in total. And then Slade is the other person, where he's actually taking out a bunch of people too. So it comes out to Bruce Wayne and Slade fight each other, and it's a pretty epic battle. But of course Slade wins because he's more experienced than Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne just started. So he fails. He's like, it's fine. So then Ra's al Ghul wants to train Bruce a little more. So Bruce gets extra experience from the master, like the leader of this whole place. He gets information from him, which is a pretty big deal. So he gets some experience from him, a lot of fighting skills from him. And then, like a couple weeks later, like 2, maybe 1 week later, Bruce Wayne is got the hang of this. He is ready to do this. So the final week of training with all the new ninjas, Slade and Bruce Wayne, Ra's al Ghul is sitting in his throne, and he says, fight to the death. So they actually get swords, and they have to fight each other to the death. So Bruce Wayne was not informed by this, and he kind of just doesn't want to do this, but he will. So Slade is a beast, and he's killing all of these ninjas, which is just brutal. And Bruce Wayne, he's fighting them, and then like he knocks them out, but he's not killing them because Batman doesn't kill. So as much. He doesn't kill as much. If you watch the DCEU and like Ben Affleck's Batman kills people with his Batmobile, and that is insane. One second. Alright, so we continue. So he tries to stop this, and then it comes down to Slade versus Batman again. Well, Bruce Wayne. So they fight each other with swords, and it's a very even match now because Bruce Wayne got training from Ra's al Ghul, the leader of this place. So Bruce Wayne does have an edge now, and it comes up to Bruce Wayne actually wins. He dethrones like the sword from Slade, and Slade says like, "Kill me, you won." And Bruce Wayne thinks about it, but doesn't. He just drops the sword. He's like, "I'm not gonna kill people. I can't." And then Ra's al Ghul is like, "Well, then you have to leave. This isn't a place for you. So, Bruce Wayne packs up, leaves, and heads back to Gotham. But he did get all his training he needed to stop crime. So, that's the first half of my movie, basically. That's the beginning of how Bruce Wayne is being trained and how he is becoming the Batman. Alright, so, let's see. When he comes back to Gotham, he lands, he goes to Wayne Tower, his house, and Alfred hasn't seen him in a while, so they get a reunion, and, he's like, so, Master Bruce, no, I'm mistaken. Bruce asks Alfred, so how's things going here? And he's like, not good. Falcone's buying Wayne Enterprises today. And Batman's like, I can't let him do this. There's gotta be something he's doing wrong. So, he doesn't know what he's gonna do. But until he finds some way to stop these crimes from stealing, because there's gotta be something wrong with Falcone. So so then it cuts from that scene and we go all the way over to the police station. We see Gordon again, and he's just sitting at his desk doing his last shift of the day and stuff. And then we see this like black figure like move behind him, and it's kind of weird. And then we see this guy, like, these two cops are in this hallway, and they're just, like, patrolling the area. And then this black figure just, like, beats him up and stuff. And then we see this prototype version of Batman. So this is his proto suit. It's not really the Batman suit, but it's just his prototype to get started. There's a picture if you wanted to know. So yeah, so he's got this prototype suit ready to go, and he's gonna like not defeat all the prisoners, but he's like, not the prisoners, the cops. So he's walking to Gordon's office, and then he's knocking on the door, and he's like, yeah? No one answers. Gordon. So Gordon just gets up, walks, and then opens the door, and that's when Bruce Wayne just right above him into his office. And then he goes on the computer, and then he sticks this thumb drive into the computer, and it's giving him all the police reports of criminals in the area and future come stuff, so he knows when bad stuff is happening in the city so he can save the city. So he gets all that, and then Gordon turns around and he's like, hey! And then Bruce Wayne grabs the thumb drive, jumps out the window, and this building's actually pretty high. It's actually like really, really tall. So he just jumps out the window, and he's falling, and then he pulls this red tab on his thing, and then he spreads his arms and legs out, and it is a squirrel suit. So if you don't know what a squirrel suit is, it's basically when you do this, like spread your arms out and legs, and then there's like this padding where you can glide. So Bruce Wayne has a squirrel suit, he just jumps out, and then just glides away. So now Bruce Wayne has all the reports for criminals and all the criminals around the city. So that's going to come in handy when he needs to like stop robberies and everything. So very good. So he gets back, as he's gliding in the air, he lands and then takes off the suit and then keeps walking, and then he sees this person getting robbed, kind of like how Bruce Wayne was getting robbed as a child. So he tries to take this guy out, but he has no suit. This is still his prototype suit that you just saw. So it's still a prototype, and he doesn't have armor to stop whatever is coming. So this guy has a gun or whatever, and he tries to stop him. It doesn't go that well, but he still defeats him. So that's a big step for Bruce Wayne. And then this woman that was getting robbed, she's like, who are you? And he's like, and then he doesn't answer because he has no idea who he is. So he just walks away. So now we get back to the Batcave. He searches what's on the thumb drive, and he sees all these gangs that robbed his Bruce Wayne's house and stuff. It's been happening to other companies too. Every company except for Falcone's company. So that's a little suspicious for him. So he's thinking that the gangs that have been stealing stuff have been Falcone's men trying to rob all the companies so he can have it all and be like the top person. So, yeah. So then he finds that out, and Alfred's looking at him. He's like, dang, Bruce, you've been beaten up a lot. And he's like, got bruises and stuff. He's like, it was a prototype suit. I knew it wasn't going to protect me that long. So he has the suit on and everything. And he's like, well, why don't you just make a suit that's actually like bulletproof and stuff? And he's like, well, it's not as easy as it seems. So then he's like, well, I actually ordered some stuff for this. If you're actually going to do this, Master Bruce, I did order some armor if you want it. So Bruce Wayne makes the Batman suit. There's the Batman suit right there. If you wanted to take a look at it, I actually really like it. It looks really sick. But yeah, he has the Batman suit. He has a Batman suit. So he starts making it and everything, and he's like, I don't know. No one needs to know who I am under the mask. I just need to be the hero Gotham deserves. So then he makes his suit, he finishes it, and then it's like on this like stand whenever he needs to. And then he's like, I can't work in here, like in my house. That would be too suspicious. And like if someone actually like watches him come out of Wayne Tower, they'll see that he's Batman. So he's got to find like a new base to do Batman stuff. So he kind of like just walks outside of his house, and he just starts like looking around to see if he can like find a shed, somewhere to build a shed for him to do stuff. So he starts walking around this field around him, and then the floor collapses below him, and he kind of falls, not too hot, he falls in water, and he gets up, and it's this cave, this huge cave, and there's like kind of rocks he can sit on, a couple rocks he can stand on too, and like there's a bunch of bats everywhere, and he's like, this is it. And then he finds this waterfall that he can walk through too. So it's kind of like this little curved place on his thing that is like on a hill. So he starts making adjustments there. He starts putting computers in there, some tables, and he puts the bat suit in there. And yeah. And then we see him working on that. So and then we pan to this plane arriving to Gotham. And then we see someone walk out of the plane. And it's Ra's al Ghul. He has arrived to Gotham. And he wants payback for Bruce not, like, finishing his training, basically. And he's like, well, if he doesn't want to work with us, then I guess we'll just take over the Gotham. And we're gonna take every person to see where Bruce Wayne is. So Ra's al Ghul is in Gotham, and he is going to be one of our villains for this movie. Alright, so then after we see that, we see the intro again. The intro from the very start of this video, we see the exact same scene play out again, and we see, instead of seeing the upside down bat symbol turn into the real bat symbol, we just see Batman just walking up to him. He's like, he just grabs him. He's like, are you working for Falcone? He's like, yes. And then that is all Bruce Wayne needed to know that Falcone is robbing all the companies. So very exciting. So he walks out, the cops arrive, and they don't trust Bruce Wayne as Batman yet. They don't trust Batman. So they think he's just a robber too, because he looked very similar to the one that broke in at the police station. So they start shooting at him. He escapes quick, and then he's like on the rooftop or something. And then ninjas come out of nowhere and just grab him. And he's like, what? And he like looks behind him and stuff. And it's the same ninjas from Ra's al Ghul's place. And he's like, what? How did they get here? I thought they were just all the way over there. How are they here? So he beats him up and stuff, and then he like unmasks one. He's like, who are you working for? He says, Ra's al Ghul. And then Batman's like, oh crap, Ra's al Ghul's here. He came to finish me off. So now we know that Ra's al Ghul is hunting Batman. Hold up, let me read my stuff real quick. I just have bullet points, and then I go more in detail with my bullet points and stuff. So, he sees that, and he's like, crap. So then, he goes back to the Batcave and stuff. He sits down, and then Alfred comes down, and he's like, sir, you haven't been sleeping for like 2 days now. Like, you need to get some sleep, sir. This is not healthy for you. He's like, I can't. Gotham needs me. I'm the only hope Gotham has to save the city. So, Batman is now a beacon of hope, sort of. No one knows who he is as much, but he thinks he's a beacon of hope to help people. And he has been helping people. He has been stopping bank robberies, helping people out as Batman. So he's been searching up who Ra's al Ghul is and what he's doing. And as he searches that up, there's no information of him whatsoever on the internet. So no one knows who this guy is. And then we see alert come up of these guys in cars driving down the road and like, you know, shooting, and they just like robbed something from another company, and he's like, it's Falcone's men. Alfred's like, sir, you don't have to do this, just don't do this. And he's like, but who else is gonna stop him? And then he walks over, and we see a little glimpse of the Batmobile. So we see the road driving across, and we see these thugs driving away, shooting cop cars' tires behind them, and they're like, we're in the clear, and they keep driving. And then we see the Batmobile rush in. It's got this, so here's a little picture of it. It's got a turret at the front so you can shoot like the tires and stuff. And I don't know, I think this Batmobile design is really cool. I really like it and stuff. So he's taking out these goons. He's driving. It's a really cool scene because we get to see the Batmobile just drive and be cool like that. He does shoot the tires off the goons, and then the cops go after them. And then after he gets all the robbers, the cops still chase him. So he's like, but why? It's like, why? Like, I literally just stopped those guys. So they keep chasing after him. So he's going down tunnels and stuff, trying to shake them, and then he finally shakes them. And then right when he gets out of the tunnel, that we see this guy jump out from above the tunnel and lands on the Batmobile. He pulls out his sword, slices the cockpit, and then he like jumps, like backflips, stabs the wheel, and then the Batmobile just goes, and then just flies around and then crashes. So Batman is fine. He gets out, and then we see Deathstroke, aka Slade. So Slade is Deathstroke. Here's a picture of my Deathstroke. He is basically my main villain for this movie. He looks so sick. He's walking down to Bruce Wayne. He doesn't know he's Bruce Wayne, but he walks down to Batman, sword's right next to him, and the sword's like touching the street, and it's like dragging and making sparks. Batman gets out, and they have a fight again. So they fight each other. Just cool fighting and everything. He's using a sword. Batman has these like gauntlets on his wrist, so he's using those. And Batman loses. And then Deathstroke is like pointing at his face, and he's like, Bruce? Because he's the only one that knows Bruce can fight like that and handle him. And then the cops come. So Slade and Deathstroke backs out and runs away. And the cops just surround Batman. He's like, there's nowhere to go, Batman. He gets up, gravity hooks away. Of course, it's Batman. He can't get caught by the cops. I mean, come on. So he goes back. He tries to figure out what are they trying to do? They know he's after Bruce Wayne, but that can't be it. There's got to be something else. So he's trying to figure that out. Now that Deathstroke knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman, so that's also a big problem for him. So he's trying to figure all that stuff out and stuff. So, and then Alfred comes down from the Batcave and he's like, sir, you have a meeting with Falcone. It's about the company on a cruise. He's like, I can't do that, Alfred. And he's like, people are going to be suspicious of you, sir. If this vigilante just shows up out of nowhere and Bruce Wayne's also not being there, people will be suspicious. So, Bruce Wayne goes on the cruise with Falcone again. Not again. They haven't been on a cruise again, but he meets Falcone again. And, of course, Bruce Wayne does not like Falcone at all. So, they have this cruise ship ride and stuff. And they're just chilling and everything. And, they're talking about the company. And then, finally, Bruce and, Falcone meet again. And he's like, so, I wanted to talk about the company again. You're running out of money, and I really need you to sell it to me. Bruce Wayne is like, I'm not going to do it. This is my legacy, my company. I really need this job and everything. He's like, well, I don't know what else to say. It's either you give it to me, or I just take it and not give you another job. So, Bruce Wayne is literally about to punch Falcone in the face. Until we see this boat arriving, and then ninjas come out, jump on the cruise ship, and they start beating up the entire like company and stuff. And then we see Deathstroke just front flip on it, and he's like grabs the captain of the ship, and he's like, where's Falcone? And Bruce is like, why do they want Falcone? So, and then Falcone sees that, and he just books it. He runs, but ninjas grab him and stuff. So Batman, Bruce Wayne, he runs to the bottom of the ship, and then he, like, opens this is his cruise, so he opens the thing, and there's the bat suit. So he gets in the Batman suit, and he goes back up. He starts beating up ninjas, and then he sees Deathstroke, but he was too late. Deathstroke got Falcone, and they started to drive away. And Batman's like, crap. So, Falcone is gone. Okay, so, why do they want Falcone? Batman goes back to the Batcave, and he figures out that Falcone was trying to take Ra's al Ghul's base too, because he wants all the companies. I guess Ra's al Ghul's was kind of a company, and Falcone wanted it, so he started to buy it off from him. And that was a mistake, because they went after Falcone. So, Batman gets ready, and he goes back to Ra's al Ghul's place again, the base. Because then he walks up, and he realizes, like, it's really quiet. And then ninjas just ambush him, and he just starts beating him up like it's nothing. Like, he's just getting so skilled now. So he walks into the place, and he sees the throne again. But Ra's al Ghul is not in the throne. And then he walks out with Falcone, like, holding Falcone's shoulder. And he's like, what are you doing here, Batman? So, he's like, why? What are you gonna do with Falcone? And he's like, I'm gonna kill Falcone. He's done so much to this world. He doesn't deserve to live. He also killed Bruce Wayne's parents. And Batman's like, what? He's like, yes, he did. So Bruce Wayne is very, very mad now. He wants to kill him, but he knows he can't. But like, he's like, so I'm just gonna kill him. And then he does. Ra's al Ghul just stabs him with his sword. And Bruce Wayne doesn't even try to stop him. Because he was like, he just doesn't deserve to live. So, Falcone dies. Then, Ra's al Ghul is like, but now, Deathstroke told me that you're Bruce Wayne. And then Batman's like, crap. He's like, and you betrayed me. So, he touches his sword like this. Like, just strokes it. And then, his sword lights up green. His eyes turn green and stuff. And now he has, like, fire power. Green fire powers now. And he's gonna fight Batman. So, we get this very cool fight between fired Ra's al Ghul versus Batman. It's a very cool fight. Batman's like trying his best to block, and then like Ra's al Ghul's using fire powers to shoot him, and he also has this green fire sword and stuff. There's a picture of what he would look like green fire powered. So it's very, very cool. And then they keep fighting, and then eventually at one point Ra's al Ghul thinks Batman's down. Batman just lays back and he's like, he thinks Batman is like down. So Ra's al Ghul goes for the final kill, jumps up, is about to like stab him, like just go for a hit. And then Batman goes like this, and then the sword hits his forearms, and he has those spikes, and it gets stuck in there. And then Batman pulls apart and breaks the sword in half. So, and then Ra's al Ghul does not have his fire powers anymore because his sword is broken. And then Batman just beats the crap out of him. And then he takes him to jail. He actually walks him up to the police officers and he's like, here. And now the police officers are like, is Batman a good guy? He did just stop this guy. Is he a good guy? So Ra's al Ghul goes to jail. And yeah, that's the last we see of Ra's al Ghul. Alright, we're in the final act of the movie. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. I worked very hard on this. And hopefully you guys like this video so I can continue to make more of these. Because I do have a plan for an 8-movie series. Maybe Junior will pop up once. I don't know. But he's not in this video because he doesn't want to be. So, I don't know. He might just show up one time. I might actually pitch it to him so he knows what I'm talking about. But right now I'm pitching it to you guys. I just hope you guys like this. So, let's get into the final act of the movie. So, Batman makes it back to the Batcave. And he's like, I did it. And Alfred's like, what about Falcone? He's like, he didn't make it. So, and then the TV flashes up. And then we see Deathstroke is still out there. And he is starting to threaten the city. And he's going to say, like, I'm going to blow up this city and stop this. So he is going to blow up the city. And Batman's like, I got to stop him. He needs to be stopped. And then Alfred's like, for the first time I agree, the Batman needs to stop this. So Batman goes to the city. And we see Deathstroke and the ninjas just like start bombing buildings basically. They're just killing people and stuff. And then Batman comes, starts beating up the ninjas and stuff. And then Deathstroke sees Batman again. He's like, Slade, what are you doing? You don't have to do this. Ra's al Ghul was just a crazy man. You don't have to do what he's told you to do. He's like, I do. It's my legacy. And then he pulls out his sword. And then Batman versus Deathstroke. So, final fight of the movie. Batman versus Deathstroke. They're fighting each other. It's a really even fight. Batman's using his gauntlets. Deathstroke has a sword, and it's just back and forth, hitting back and forth. And Deathstroke actually loses his sword at one point, but he still has fighting experience, so they just go full-on fist fight for the rest. And basically, he has the bomb remote. So he loses that at one point, and he tries to get back to it, but Batman is holding up a pretty good fight. And then the building they're on explodes. So they're like, whoa. Like, no, the building next to them blows up. And then it's just fire, and then it starts to get on them a little. Batman grabs the remote and just crushes it. And then Deathstroke's like, no. And then they get more into a fight until eventually Deathstroke, like, kind of loses. He falls and grabs onto the building like this, at the edge, and Batman just walks over him and he's like, you can change, Deathstroke. Just here. And he's like, no, I'd rather die. And then he lets go and he falls into the fire and dies. So, Batman has just saved the day. He stopped the bombs, and he's starting to help citizens that are injured and everything. And then, when the fire cooled down, Batman tried to see if he could see Deathstroke's body, but we see Deathstroke's armor. And that's it. No body inside. So he thinks he just burnt to, like, ashes. So, he grabs the armor, though. He brings it back to the Batcave, and there's this bridge, and then where the Batmobile sits on top, and then under it is where he puts Deathstroke's armor. Just like as like a little grave for him. So, he puts it under the bridge, and then we get this Batman end credits where he's like talking like, the city needs me. The cops trust me. Like, the cops trust him now that he's the hero of the city. Gordon and Batman are kind of best buds now. And just a lot of stuff happens. And he's like, the city needs me, and I'm never going to stop. And then, credits. Batman, year one. So, that is my Batman movie. So, I hope you guys like it. I didn't plan on an end credit scene because I know what the next one will be about and stuff, but I'll leave it a surprise. So, if you guys like this video and if you like this script, please, I want you guys to rate it from 1 to like out of 10. You know how I rate my movies out of 10 that I see? Rate this movie out of 10 down below in the comment sections. I really want to know your opinion on this. Do you like this series? Should I make the rest of these? I don't know. I had really fun making this. I just think I like to pitch scripts out there so you guys know my original stories. And I don't just have to do DC. I can make like original stories. It doesn't just have to be Batman. It can just be like my original stories. Like, I can do an original sci-fi movie or anything. Let me know down below in the comment section of what you would like me to do. So please like this video, subscribe, ring the bell. I will check you guys on another Dab 2000 video, and maybe if you guys want to see movie 2 of my Batman universe. Goodbye, Dabbers.